Using your flipbook, the top left flap says Table Function. Go ahead and open that up, and you have a blank table, and I want you to fill in these x and y values in your table. To the left of your table, where you have the flap, you are going to write down these 2 bullet points. Each x value, also called an input, is paired with one y value, which is an output. And notice your x values, which are your inputs, do not repeat. The top right says table, not a function, so go ahead and open that flap, and you're going to fill in these x values in your table. To the right of your table on your flap, you are going to write down the x value of -1 is paired with 2 y values, 2 and 1. So if you notice I circled it, the x value of -1 repeats itself. In the middle, we have a mapping. So on the left-hand side, we're going to look at mapping. That is a function. And open that up, and you're going to have 2 circles in the middle, in the inside. And I want you to fill in your mapping to look like mine. To the left of these ovals of this mapping on your flap, go ahead and write down each x value is paired with one y value. So notice our arrows go from one input to one output. One arrow goes from x to y. There are no repeats. We don't have 2 arrows coming out of one number here. Again, in the center, you're going to have the mapping that says not a function. So notice the 2 ovals there. If you open that up, go ahead and fill in these numbers. Draw your arrows in. Notice how I highlighted the 2 arrows that are coming out of -1. That's what makes this not a function. The x value of -1 is paired with 2 y values. Let's move on to our graph. So go ahead and plot points to the best of your ability, kind of where I plotted mine. Looks like it's -2, 2, 0, 3, 1, -1, and 2, 4. This is graph function on the bottom left. And then to the left of your graph on your flap is where you're going to write down that this passes the vertical line test. So if we draw vertical lines down through here, vertical line, vertical line, all of these vertical lines only pass through one point. Thus, this is a function because it passes the vertical line test. Then the bottom right, the last one is graph. That's not a function. So I have a point at -3, -2, -1, 1, -1, 2, and 2, -3. And if I draw a vertical line here and a vertical line here, it's okay. But wherever we see the highlighter, this is not okay. So to the right of my graph in my flap, this graph does not pass the vertical line test. So now you have an example for a table, a mapping, and a graph that are functions and that are not functions. And you can use this resource when you do your homework or on a quiz.